Hey, it's Charlie Ray. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. I want to show you guys the my first project for Granny Janny. So I wanted to do a vest and I had a small amount of yarn left. This is how much yarn I had left over after doing my project. While this video isn't a tutorial, I am going to walk you guys through what I did, and it's easy enough to make one yourself using any granny square pattern that you want to use. Also, I am going to be posting some videos soon of different granny square patterns, and those will be tutorials that you can use to make any of the projects that you want or any of the ones that I'm doing for Granny Janny. So I wanted to make something with this pretty purple yarn I had, and I knew I wanted to use granny squares. So I decided on a vest because I figured I could make 2 big squares and maybe 2 little ones, and then I could do the ribbing in a different color. So I went with the classic granny square pattern for this because I only had 1 skein of yarn and I really wanted to do a square that had a lot of spaces in it to try and get through this whole project with that 1 skein of yarn. If you measure from one side to the other, you will know how wide you need your granny square to be. So basically, all you have to do is keep working out to make your granny square larger until it reaches the size you need it to be. And you can keep checking with a ruler or measuring tape to make sure it's the size you need it to be. So the 2 granny squares that I made for this project were probably the easiest part of this project because I just used a basic granny square pattern. And as I mentioned before, if you want to see that pattern, I'm going to link it down below, and that video is actually gonna post within the next couple of days. So if you don't see the link yet, it's coming. Once you have both squares, you can pick which one you want for the front and divide it roughly into 3 parts, making the middle a little bit larger. And then you can either sew 2 small granny squares to fit in that space, or you can do what I did, which was to just attach my yarn at the top corner and continue the pattern up a little ways. So I chose to do the stitching on the arms by connecting my yarn right there where the squares end at each corner, and then just working my way up to form the part from the square to the back of the shoulder. But you could just as easily make an additional granny square for each side, so 2 smaller granny squares that will fit in that space. Once the shoulder portion is the length you need it to be, then you can go ahead and attach it to the other square that is for the back of your vest. Make sure that you are attaching the sides where they're right sides facing together for each square. You can attach these using your yarn needle if you would like, For this portion, I chose to use my crochet hook and just attach it with either a slip stitch or a single crochet stitch. After you have that all sewn up on both sides, it's time to sew up the sides and make the armholes. So I put the vest on my model and used stitch markers to mark where we wanted the armholes to begin. Then I just got some more of my yarn and went ahead and stitched that up, this time with a yarn needle. I went in to the outside loops only for a cleaner look to the sides of this vest. So at this point, the main body of the vest is already done. Now all we have to do is add some trimming to the arms, the neck, and the bottom. I actually found that I made the armholes much too large. Not sure what I was thinking, but I did have to go back afterwards and make them a little smaller. I didn't get that part on film, but I had already stitched together the off-white trim, so the sides ended up just having the regular part where it was stitched together and then a little white kind of trim just beneath where the armhole ends, but it ended up not looking bad at all, so it really wasn't a big deal. So that worked out. At this point, all I had left to do was the ribbing around the neck. All in all, this was actually a one-day project. So if I had done the squares ahead of time, really all I would have had left to do is the ribbing. Here's the final vest, guys. I hope you like it. It is very soft and she said pretty comfortable. She ended up wearing it all day. If you have any other comments about this sweater, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks for stopping by. Bye. Really quick, guys, before we left the park, we made sure to pick up a few sticks for an upcoming project. So I will refer back to this when we get there. But as always, thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.